it's the Texans and the Panthers. Battle of the number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks taken in the draft. And you and I had these conversations certainly at the draft. I think we were both on the fact that C.J. Stroud would be the second quarterback taken. And I think a lot of people did not think that would be the case. And I remember those conversations then. Ohio State quarterbacks. A lot of people go, somehow he's branded because of the mistakes of other Ohio State quarterbacks. C.J. Stroud has looked the part better so far than Bryce Young, who was the number 1 quarterback taken by the Panthers. But now I look at this and I see the Texans are now road favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think there'd be a game this year that Houston would be a road favorite, and certainly not by a field goal. So does this feel a little bit – I know the Panthers have been uninspiring, but are you surprised where this number is?
I'm not surprised where the number is necessarily, but that being said, I don't know if I want to lay 3 on the road with Houston, and Houston has been the better team. And C.J. Stroud, by far, has been the best of the rookie crop of quarterbacks. I know Anthony Richardson, a lot of injuries, so we haven't really seen a big sample size of Anthony Richardson. Bryce Young, we've seen 6 games. I'm not willing to give up on him necessarily, but it's been tough sledding for that team, and it's been tough with a rookie head coach. Carolina's been banged up on defense because that's what you thought, okay, that's going to maybe carry this team is the defense, and that's what you're looking for. But I think maybe the bye week is almost like could be bad for the Houston Texans, and that is one thing that does kind of concern me a little bit because they got a nice win over New Orleans. They're 3-3, even though Jacksonville's now 5-2. They got to feel like, hey, we're not last in the division. We're very competitive here. Texans, obviously, based on how they played, 11th in DVOA, 6th in pass DVOA. Meanwhile, Panthers 31 and 29, respectively, in those 2 rankings. Carolina's the only team that hadn't covered a spread all year, by the way, 0-5-1 against the number. And look, they haven't really been close. It's not like they've been, okay, you were getting 6 and you lose by 7. They haven't been covering by about an average of 7 points. Texans have covered 4 straight games. I think maybe you might get 3 in the hook here. You haven't really seen a ton of movement. You're seeing like 3 minus 115. That's when okay, there's a chance that this is going to go to 3.5. And that would interest me on Carolina because I think the bye week was good for Carolina. I really do.
I'm with you on that. And again, last time out, they did have a 14-0 lead against Miami, right? And obviously, we're not able to hold that lead and still could not, they had opportunity to cover, but could not cover. So you mentioned even that. But sometimes when you make those small strides, and I know we're really grasping here.
Yeah.
If you're a Panther backer, right? That you did have that 14-0 lead. I want to look at Rookie of the Year very quickly here because it does, with these 2 quarterbacks playing, this will be one of those showcases now with Anthony Richardson on the shelf for the year. I just wonder, as I pull up the market here, Stroud right now is the overwhelming favorite at minus 225. I want to look way down the board. Oh, my goodness. Where do you think we can even get Bryce Young at this stage? Because he has been not good. He's 75 to 1.
Okay, I was going to say somewhere 60, 70 to 1.
Okay, I'm not saying play it. But what I will ask is, if he has a better game than C.J. Stroud here is the favorite right now at minus 225, and it's a bit of a coming out party at some point for Bryce Young, if he can turn, it's not even the second half yet, Wes. I mean, that's how young this season really is. Is he still live in that market? I mean, you got to go the Puka Nakuas and the Bijan Robinsons, but it does always lend itself to quarterbacks. That's why C.J. Stroud's still the overwhelming favorite here at laying over $2. But I think I could make a small case that if Bryce was able to turn things around, starting with a head-to-head matchup against the guy that's now the favorite for the award, 75 to 1, if you wanted to take a stab, doesn't feel like maybe a pizza money bet.
This team has got to start being competitive, though, for that to be a chance. Look, I think if they got to win, he would drop a little bit because these awards markets react on everything, and they react on results, like we were talking about with McCarthy last night in the Heisman Trophy race. But you look at the guys ahead of him, Stroud, the rightful favorite. Puka Nakua, by the way, had a very good game today for the Rams, even in defeat. Robinson, Zay Flowers from Baltimore, who's had, I think, a very good year. Achan from Miami, obviously,
on the injured list.
And, but they're very much missing him, especially against better teams, because I think he's their more explosive guy. I just think there's probably too many guys for Bryce Young the past year. But looking at this, Carolina does, just back to this game real quick, they got to get healthier on defense because they got so many guys out right now. Jeremy Chin, Xavier Wood, Shaq Thompson, J.C. Horn, and some other guys questionable. So I'm waiting on this game to see if I get a better injury report. But Carolina at above 3, I think, would be my first look.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.